I'm sure you are ready for today's session. I will be co-facilitating with Molly today, and we have our technical team at the back, Kate, that is assisting us, and there's Tabisa, who's the project manager for this for us, and Sharon is there at the back also. So I'm sure you are ready for this session because you had a hectic week preparing for the introduction to core skills for leaders. Let me take the opportunity to thank you guys for participating in the WhatsApp group, because when we give you the work on groups, it's basically killing doing two things at the same time. We are ensuring that when you come to class, you are ready for the class and you are able to participate effectively. And at the same time, when we give you group work, we are exposing you to the different types of collaborative learning strategies which will take you through next week. But by the time we get there, you would understand exactly. So thank you very much, those who have participated in the WhatsApp group and those that have participated in the Google Classroom. A number of you, there's a difference between last week and this week. Most of you now have been very, very active in the Google Classroom. And so today, this is the overview of the session. Today is day 1, and I'll be dealing with session 1, which is quality learning and core skills. And I'm sure you've done the bulk of the work on session 1, because all the groups have been given work to deal with, to explain what quality learning is and what is your role as a school leader there. And then Molly will take on session 2, which is core skills for thinking, which is critical thinking and problem solving, which is CTPS, and creative imagination. So that's what we'll be doing today. And then next week we continue again with the overview with session 3, which is core skills for interacting. We'll be dealing with communication and collaboration, and digital literacy. And session 4 will be core skills for taking action, that is student leadership and personal development. And the second core skill will be citizenship. And then session 5 is where do we take you from there? And I'm sure Molly today will be introducing you to some of the things that you are going to be implementing in the classroom. My responsibility today is on session 1, which is quality learning and core skills. And what are we going to achieve by the end of this session? By the end of this session, you would understand what core skills are. And I think Molly last week mentioned the 6 core skills that we should embed. And we're going to be taking you through how do you embed them in the classroom and how do you embed them when you are leading the school and the organization. And we'll be explaining why it is important to ensure that there's quality learning. So I'll just give you an overview on that, but the sessions that follow after my session will go deeper in each aspect. Then we'll be identifying the difference between surface learning and deep learning. Again, I'll just be giving you an introduction there, based basically on the reports that I have read in your WhatsApp and on your submissions that you have made in your Google Classroom. And again, we will be looking at the fact that we need to recognize that core skills do not replace knowledge, but can be integrated into all student learning inside and outside the classroom. And actually, we'll be saying core skills are part and parcel of enhancing the knowledge, of enhancing the skills that are there, and we'll be showing you How then do you integrate the core skills inside the classroom and outside the classroom? And lastly, we will be analyzing your current practices through the lens of the core skills. And basically, that's the activity that you did in the Google Classroom, where I was asking you, let us say you are working about your school, what would your learners say about your school in order to improve quality of learning? So the activities that you were doing in the course of the week were built up to these activities. Are we together? So those are the 4 outcomes that we'll be focusing on in my session. And then we have that picture which was given to one of the groups, and each group was asked basically to unpack its activity, and the activity was based on core skills. And I have said each group must have a person to represent the group and give us feedback. And I want the group that was dealing with that picture, what comes to mind when you look at that picture? 3 minutes. Molly?
You want me, yes, you want me to keep time, Sis Boyo?
I'm telling you, yes, my dear, I want you to keep time. 3 minutes, guys. The group that was dealing with question number 1 on the slide. When you look at that picture, what do you see? Your time has started. Who are members of that group? You don't write, you chat to us.
Hello, Sis Buyo.
Yes, my dear.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to raise up my hand, so I have forgotten. I will learn. Okay. I'm one of the group, the member of group 5.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, we are listening.
So your question is, what comes into your mind, into our mind when we see the picture?
Yes.
So when I see the picture, I see that a teacher has a huge responsibility.
Yes.
In front of him.
Yes.
I also, what comes to my mind also is we should have classroom management as teachers.
Yes.
And then we should have an effective classroom environment climate also.
Yes.
We should also motivate the pupils.
Yes.
And we should also have inclusive education.
Yes.
That's what comes to mind when I see the picture.
Okay. Thank you to that group. That's what comes to your mind in that group. I assume that's the group response. There's a huge responsibility, and you have got a critical role to play as a school manager when you look into that picture. Like, for instance, the teacher there is supposed to be reporting back on behavior. So as a school manager, you've got a responsibility there of ensuring that there is a code of conduct in the school, or what we call the guides of interaction in British Council. You deal with inclusive education. What strategies are there in your school? Do you ensure that your teachers are taking the learner special needs into consideration? As a teacher, the teacher needs to ensure that there's enough learning material. As a principal, as a school leader, you've got a responsibility of ensuring that learning material is in place. You have got to ensure that, as you are saying, that the environment is conducive, because if they work in a dilapidated classroom, dirty classroom, then there's going to be a problem. If you are a principal or a school leader, you have to ensure that you take into consideration the different kids that you have in your class. You have gifted kids, you have got learners that are struggling. What strategies are you going to bring into class? And then the teacher has to conduct the test. And as a principal, this is where now you come in. You check if the core skills are basically taken into consideration. The most important thing with us is that whenever learners are assessed, it's not only assessment for the sake of assessment, but it's also to ensure that you are embedding the core skills. Okay, thanks to that group. We move on to the second group. Let's give them a big applause, guys. Thanks for that. They have made a contribution in the group. And then we move on to the group that what do you do every day as a leader to try to ensure that teachers can provide quality learning? That's group number one. Group number one. Group number one.
I have started the time.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
My name is Dimpo. Am I clear?
It's who?
My name is Dimpo.
Dimpo. Okay,
Yes,
Dimpo.
please. Okay, thank you. As a leader, each and every day, I usually check the logbook and see whether the teachers are all at school. For those who are not at school without reporting, I just assign a teacher to the class and see that the work is done. If teachers are all available at school, I check daily lesson plan for every teacher and see that learners are in good condition. Although it's not good or it's not visible to see that they are all healthy and ready to learn.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for that.
As for quality learning truly is that when learners are able to read and write, we can call that a quality learning, and they are able to stand for themselves, solve their own problems, find the ways to live, find the ways to learn, find the ways to be with others and play well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you have said a mouthful there. The first thing is basically you check the attendance. As we go, we'll be saying you collaborate, you check if everything is in order, you check if the plans are implemented. One of our strategies in the British Council is you need to have an action plan for all your activities, and then you have your lesson plan. And in your lesson plan, in the next session, Molly will be taking you through the Bloom's taxonomy. How do you ensure that the Bloom's taxonomy is implemented when you are planning your lessons? And secondly, we will be taking you through to ensure that if your lesson plans have all the core skills or some of the core skills, we will see that in terms of how are the activities done by the learners and basically what collaborative learning strategies are used in your classroom. And then you check your learners, which is important. You motivate them. And I like the fact that you check their wellness, which is about their personal development. You also check if they can read and write, meaning that if you check if they can read and write, you are zooming in the core skills, communication and collaboration. And when you say you want to ensure learners are able to solve the problems, it means that you are zooming in on the core skill, critical thinking and problem solving. And you said they must find ways to live. And basically the essence of finding ways to live is basically to ensure that the learners are citizens and to ensure that there's personal development on the side of the learners. So already you can see that when you are doing that quality learning in your school, you are basically ensuring that the core skills are basically implemented in your classroom. So what we are doing basically is not something that is new, it's something that is enhancing what you are already doing in your own
That's
schools,
true.
and you want to improve and enhance that. Thanks a lot,
Mm,
Timpo, on that.
mm.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you. Let's give her. Okay, thank you, thank you. And then
Thank you
let's
for
move
that,
on
ma'am.
to the group that was dealing with what is quality learning.
Mm. Oh, thank you. That's good.
What is quality learning? That's group 4. Group 4. Molly has started to count for you. Group 4. Anyone from group 4 in the group? Group 4.
Maybe skip to group 5, the next group.
Can you check, Molly, in the register if Camilla, Kabele, Mamoteng, or Nongebo are around? Seliso, any one of those?
Checking. I think maybe let's move to the next one.
So they are not here. Hello?
I'm checking. I got Pilela, Poka, Tabang.
Okay. How is quality learning? Let's move on to the next group. How is quality learning provided in your school? Group number 4. Remember, how is quality learning provided in your school? What group, which group was doing that? Group number 2.
It's a Nondiebo.
Nanjebo, you're around.
Yes. Yes, I'm around, me.
Can you respond for your group?
Thank you, me. I'm Nonjebo Fosi.
Yes, my dear.
Quality learning is whereby learners able to give answers at their own. They manage to read and write, do things on their own, or everything that they do, they manage to do it without the help of the teacher, although the teacher can help, but most of the time they do things on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. In terms of quality learning, it's where learners basically are we need to ensure that learners at the end of the day are independent. They can make decisions on their own, which is about leadership, it's about personal development, and they can do that if they have got all the core skills. If they are able to communicate and collaborate with others, they can do that. They can work on their own. If they are able to think critically and solve problems, they can do that. If they can be independent, if they are creative, they can be independent. If they have the resources, for argument's sake, if they have got digital literacy. So you can see that when you say you want independent learners are learners that we are preparing them for the 21st century, and the 21st century requires basically all the core skills. We are preparing independent learners, and they must be able to read and write, meaning that they must be able to communicate and collaborate. Okay, thanks, group 4, for that. The next group, group 2. Group 2. Group 2, how is quality learning provided in your school?
Hello, me.
Yes, my dear.
I'm Megezi Lekgolwane.
Yes.
Quality learning is provided in my school. I make sure that every teacher makes he or she gets into classroom with or well prepared with lessons and teaching materials, lesson plans and teaching materials. And I also make sure that preparations for the next lessons should be done after school. This gives us time to help each other where someone has a problem to present a lesson or with additional materials. Teachers are encouraged to be punctual at school every day and also arrange learners to be ready for class. Good discipline is maintained in class and within school campus. I thank you.
Thanks for that. You have said a mouthful, and you can see that again. I'm going to be repeating myself there, but as a school leader, you have to ensure that quality learning is provided in your school. It will be done when teachers are prepared, and how they do it in their school. There's lesson preparation. So lesson preparation is what Molly will be taking you in the next session in terms of the Bloom's taxonomy, because that Bloom's taxonomy that is going to be talking about, you need basically to embed it in your lesson plans. He's going to be talking about you have to embed in your lesson plans the different core skills. And I like the fact that again there you are coming with one of the principles that we like in the British Council that says you meet as a group and you work together, meaning that you have community of practice where you plan together and you are able to integrate and ensure that all the core skills are embedded in your classroom. Thank you very much for that. Group 2. Okay, group number 5. What group is that? Question number 5. Group 3. I think that's Mr. Parker's group without even going back to group number 5.
Hello, Zizwu.
Yes, my dear.
Should we answer the role in this picture, because we have already talked about the one that what comes into our mind when you see the picture, because we have already presented.
No, this is not your question. It's the question for what skills. This one is what skills and knowledge do you think you need as a school leader to ensure that there's quality learning? That's group 3's work.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Group 3. Who are members of group 3? Looks like there's no one from group 3.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes. The floor is yours.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Can I continue?
Yes, continue, my dear.
Okay, it's Tiriso.
Yes, take it so.
Yes. The skills and the question says, what skills and knowledge do you think you need as a school leader to ensure that there is quality learning? So as a school leader, the skills that I must have is that now I must be well equipped with the teaching methods that are needed,
Yes.
so that I should help the teachers
Yes.
as how they should tackle the problems that they find in their syllabuses or in
Yes.
their workbooks.
Yes.
I must be knowledgeable of all the teaching methods, of all my responsibilities, that I must check the lesson plans, that I must be on time, so that when each and everyone comes to school, I must be there to see that now learners and teachers are ready to start.
Yes. Okay.
As a leader, as a school leader, I must have more knowledge, more knowledgeable than compared to the other my schoolmates, so that I may be able to help them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Ndate, for that. And you have also zoomed again that as a teacher, as a school leader, you need basically the necessary skills and the necessary knowledge. And you have mentioned basically that you need to be well equipped with the various teaching methods. So it is your responsibility as a school leader to ensure that you zoom in into that core skill, personal development, and so that when you develop yourself personally, you understand exactly the teaching methods. For instance, your teachers have attended the course, the introduction on core skills, and basically we were in the classroom with them. So it becomes your responsibility basically to ensure that you understand exactly what is it that they are doing when they are in the classroom. What is it that they are doing when they are implementing the different collaborative learning strategies? What is it when we are saying to them, bring in more project work? What is it when we are saying the Bloom's taxonomy? So in these 2 weeks, we'll be giving you that overview of exactly what is it that should be in those lesson plans. You can see that in all these reports, the lesson plan is basically coming time and again, meaning that your lesson plans, you need to ensure that they are in line with everything that we are doing. We are going to be saying to you from the next session up until the last session. And then, yeah, that's all. Thank you very much. And the last group? The quality of a school is determined by the quality of the leadership. I'm left with 30 minutes now. We have to move on fast.
Yes, hello everybody.
Yes.
Did you say group 6?
Yes.
Ndadesalu, are you there?
Melvin,
Yes.
group 6.
Yes.
You can hear me?
Ndadesalu, are you there?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So we as group 6 agreed on the following, because the question is, what do you think is expected from you as a leader?
Yes.
So we believe that leadership has to do with the following things that we are going to present the plenary. We believe that the leader has to have vision, and that vision has to be the vision of the school, because each school
has its own vision, usually from those who founded the school. But
Yes.
if the vision is not there or is not clear, it's the responsibility of the leader to ensure that the school has a vision, because a vision gives the school a direction. It gives the school a common goal for everybody who is involved in the activities of the school.
Yes.
Also agreed that a leader needs to be a good communicator, and he also needs to open up channels to make communication easier. There are communications channels which are defined by the job descriptions from maybe the education department in a language here from the Ministry of Education, that this person is responsible to so and so or answers to a certain level of management. But besides that, you may find that those lines of communications are very effective. They need to be customized to meet the needs of a particular school. So for that reason, a good leader who is a good communicator will try to find ways of improving communication channels. Another thing that we think that it needs to be with the leader, it's being a role model. We feel that leaders have to be exemplary. You don't preach what you don't do. So if we tell our followers to arrive on time, that means we must be on time. If we tell them to prepare for their lessons, like the other groups have been saying about quality education, they should see us do it. If they shouldn't bank classes, everything, we have to be role models to people who are following us, so that we also do as we do. Another thing that we find very important for the leader is to be a motivator and an inspiration. Usually people look up to their leader. So the leader has to keep motivating them, has to keep inspiring them. We also thought of delegation and empowerment. We have, the leader usually has to look over the overall of the school, the overall activities of the school. That means this is a lot of work. And if he tries to do it all by himself or herself, the leader is going to be strained out. The leader is overstretching himself or herself. So the best thing is to let others take part in the activities of the school, especially those which are not clearly defined by the specific job descriptions. Just to find a way of delegating duties. And that in itself is empowering them. We are already grooming future leaders by letting our colleagues take part in the leadership roles. There are also those weaker characters, those who need to be empowered. We need to keep encouraging them to try, encouraging them to do things they should not always keep at the back.
Your time is up, sir.
Last one may not be the last one as yet, but no, I think the last one which I want to put forth is that of resilience.
Yes.
Leaders they face a number of challenges because of the type of work they do. So if they are not resilient, they are not able to go back to shape. That's very dangerous for them. It becomes very stressful. So they should work out in themselves the way of becoming resilient. Thank you. I think I take too much time.
Thank you. Thanks for that. It was mouthful. Actually, we've seen everywhere, all these groups, there's a lot of work that is in the group. It's just that I've given you limited time. Yes. But you have said a mouthful, that have a vision of a school and be a visionary also. Communication, be a role model, know exactly these core skills, how they are implemented in the classroom, and again, be a motivator. You have got a responsibility to communicate and collaborate and guide everyone in the school. And indeed, you need to be resilient as a school leader, because there are basically many challenges. When I summarize this, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You've done so much work in the group. And when you look at quality learning, there are basically 4 pillars of quality learning. 4 qualities of quality learning. The first one, learning to know. What is the knowledge? That's the question that people are going to gain. The second one is learning to do. What is the skill that the people are going to gain? The third one is learning together. Let's collaborate. Let's grow together. And learning to be. And quality learning, ladies and gentlemen, for you to be able to do that, you can do that only through educational leadership. You can do that through your teachers. You can do that through the content, and you can do that through the environment. So you become very, very critical as a school leader. I always say to principals when I talk to them, the quality of a school is determined by the quality of its leadership, its educators, its content, and the environment. And everything that comes after that is basically as a result of the leadership. So as leadership, you have a responsibility of ensuring that you implement quality. And the quality that we are bringing in as the British Council is, please ensure by the end of this session, you are embedding all the 6 core skills in your school. Thank you very much. And if you look back now, there's a question on the Google Classroom. Basically, in the Google Classroom, we said we are looking at you through the lens now. Look at the core skills through the lens of your learners. And there I have given you a question which I have posted in your Google Classroom, where I have said, let us say for argument's sake, you are doing a walkabout in your school and you speak to your teachers and your learners. What would they say you should be doing in order to improve the quality of learning in your school? In this group, in the reports that we have had enough information to basically reflect now. But I will ask 2 people for 2 minutes. I'll ask 2 people for 2 minutes. I'll ask Tabang, can you share us what will your teachers say and what will your learners say when you ask them about suggestions to improve the quality of learning in your school? Tabang?
Okay, ma'am, thank you very much.
Yes.
I have answered the learners part, of which I said educationally, the learners might suggest how they might need to be taught. For example, like we are now within this pandemic disease, they might suggest to use the technology. Again, the learners spiritually may suggest how and when they need to be motivated spiritually. Maybe they can ask for a prayer once in a week. Socially, the expectation concerning the extracurricular. For example, we can talk about the playgrounds or the outings. I'm talking about the refreshments here. And lastly, I talked about politically. Learners might suggest maybe to be involved in decision making in things concerning their education. So that's the things that I've discussed. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Dimpo? Dimpo, are you in the room?
Thank you, Mme. As for the teachers, they would say we encourage teamwork, that teacher A should not feel less to work with teacher B or to ask help from teacher B. We must have a clean and safe environment. When we have a clean and safe environment, children are free to come to school, and that's also attractive school looks like. You throw the lesson plan. It's very important to know where we are and where to go. Model learners with vision. Our learners should have self-esteem, feel for themselves, know who they are, know where they want to be. As for learners, they would appreciate to have a good playground where that we can play and feel free.
Thank you,
Am
Timpo.
I? Okay, thank you, Mme.
Thank you, Timpo. Because of time, I will just give you a summary of what the 16 people have said in the Google Classroom. Learners must be taught using technology, which means they are saying digital literacy. Learners they need motivation, which means they need communication and collaboration. Learners said they need extracurricular activities, they need personal development. Learners said they need to be involved in decision making, meaning that they need to be taught in problem solving and critical thinking. They need creativity, they need leadership, and they need citizenship. Learners say they want to speak English, read and write it effectively, meaning that the learners are saying they want communication and collaboration. Learners, they say they want drama, they want project work, and you must bring fun in the classroom. Our classrooms are dull, meaning that learners are saying, give us a responsibility for our work. And the moment they say they want drama, they want to collaborate, they want to be creative, they want to solve problems, and they have said the teachers will say, let's model. This is what has been said by the last group. They said we need more teamwork, meaning that they want collaboration. We need action planning in our schools. We need to be equipped with more skills, meaning that we need skills to deal with the core skills. And all this, when I was reading your group, your submissions, they were saying, you are saying in your schools, for you to be able to ensure there's quality learning that is inclusive of core skills, you need to ensure that there's action planning for your teachers. There must be appreciative inquiry. Somebody said we need to pay them more. Teachers need extrinsic motivation. They need that appreciative inquiry. They need basically to be informed of the good that they have done, meaning that you need to journal and write the stories that are there. They said they need to improve on their lesson plans so that learners are independent, meaning that you need to ensure that in your classroom you take into consideration the Bloom's taxonomy, you check the inclusion of learners, and you check the core skills. And this takes me to the next session, which is it's a 2-minute activity in which I'm going to post in your in your WhatsApp. Learners are saying we want to basically to be given more skills basically in order to have to learn deep and not just touch the surface. Ensure that those lesson plans are lessons of quality, and if they are lessons of quality, then there's a balance between your deep learning skills, which are formed from ensuring that you have your foundation of the surface skills. I want you now for 2 minutes, to state in the WhatsApp group whether those statements are surface or deep learning. I know Molly is going to get deeper into it. I was just I'm trying to summarize this session. State whether the following are surface or deep learning. Write your answers in your, if it's surface, one is S, you write S or D in your WhatsApp. I'm going to give you 2 minutes for that. 1, 2, 3, and if one is, you say one is surface, you write S. If it's D, you write D. Don't write the full name because it's going to, we are trying to save time. 2 minutes for that.
To a new problem.
The activity is there in your WhatsApp group. It's also there in your WhatsApp group, or you can, if you're able to see, you use this.
New
For 2 minutes. Molly, are you timing?
new learning to the real world.
2 minutes.
The chorus responses.
Your mic, switch off your mic. Dimple, switch off your mic. Two minutes, so it's.
How do I get to the WhatsApp group while I'm still in the meeting?
Or you can use the screen, and then you will raise your, I'll give you time to raise your hand. Or you write in the chat box. If you're able to write in the chat box, Molly is going to see the chat box.
Okay.
Write in the chat box or write in the WhatsApp.
Did you say the responses should be put in the WhatsApp or in the chat?
Well, you can either in the WhatsApp or in the chat. It's your choice.
Surface. I don't know. How do I give you my responses now?
Okay. Have you written them in the in the WhatsApp group or in the chat?
Limpo has responded in the WhatsApp. David as well.
Yes. Okay.
Rafiwe.
Rafiwe. Okay. Let's see what David is saying. That our time is up. Poker is writing. David is saying apply concepts to a new problem. That's deep learning. Relating to the new world, that's deep learning. Chorus responses, that's surface learning. Memorizing without understanding, that's surface learning. Explain the reasoning, that's deep learning. 6, reciting textbook, that's surface learning. Accepting new facts uncritically, I'm reading them from David's, that's surface learning. 8, doing a collaborative project, that's deep learning. And 9, that's copying and pasting, that's surface learning. And 10 is basically teaching something to a classmate he's saying that's a D. Others are saying you all agree. There's somebody who said, I don't know where to write. Who are you? I'm going to give you an opportunity now. Just respond to the D. Teaching something to a class, is it surface or deep learning?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my dear.
Can I answer here?
Yes, you can answer there.
Number one, applying concept to a new problem is deep learning.
Yes.
Relating to new real world is deep learning. Chorus
Yes.
responses, surface learning.
Yes.
Memorizing without understanding is surface learning.
Yes.
Explaining reasons is deep learning. Reciting
Yes.
to books, that is surface learning.
Yes.
Accepting new facts uncritically is deep learning.
Yes.
Doing collaborative project is deep learning.
Yes.
Copying and pasting quickly is surface learning. Teaching
Yes.
something to a classmate is surface learning.
Surface learning. Yes. I think you all agree, you are all in agreement in terms of 1 to 9. There's a slight difference in terms of teaching something to a classmate. Is that a surface learning or a deep learning? I'm not going to respond a debrief on that. Will come back to that when Molly has done the surface and deep learning in terms of teaching something to a classmate. Okay, thank you very much. You are stars, so you've got the introduction there. And these are the core skills that we'll be considering. I'm going to be handing over to Molly now. Critical thinking and problem solving, creative imagination and citizenship, creativity and imagination, citizenship, communication and collaboration, and digital literacy, and leadership and personal development. And again, this activity that I'm going to post there, it's basically for 2 minutes again. I'm going to post that one for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes. For 2 minutes. Look at that activity. I want someone to basically look at that activity and you match the activity, you match the definition with the core activity, with the core skill. I've given you statements there. I've given you 6 statements. That one you don't have to write, you just lift up your hand. And Molly, look at those hands.
Oh, okay.
Look at that definition, guys, in your WhatsApp group, and you match it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Definition number 1, self-directed thinking that produces, I can't read for people who can read. Look at those statements and match them with 1, 2, 3, and 6. 1 minute, anyone to?
I'm sorry, I don't see those statements that we are matching with this.
The statements are in your WhatsApp group.
Course.
I'm stuck now.
Mr. Poga? Mr. Poga? Mr. Poga? Mr. Poga?
Hello, me. Hello, me.
Can you match the statements, the 6 statements with the statement number 1 matches which core skill?
I'm just trying to to match me. I'm just trying to match, but since I'm now have to go to the WhatsApp and then
No,
write,
you speak in the mic. We don't have time for the WhatsApp.
okay, I can just switch on the mic here. Let
Yes.
me just say one could be communication.
Self-directed thinking that produces new ideas and innovative ideas and solve problems, reflecting critically on learning experiences and making. That's basically critical thinking and problem solving. That's one.
That's one.
Yes. Number two.
Let me go and check number 2 again back today.
Others also.
Hello?
Tabang, yes. Anyone? Number 2.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
It's David here. I think number 2 is communication and collaboration.
Communication and collaboration. Thanks, David. Okay. Number 3. Number 3. Number 3.
Hello, ma.
Yes, dear.
I think number 3 is problem solving.
Number 3, it's problem solving was number 1. Number 3, it's creativity and imagination.
Ish, thank you.
Creativity and imagination. Number 4. Number 4, take risk. Guys, take risk, leaders. Leadership is about taking risks. Number 4.
Number 4 is skills for working.
Number 4 is skills for working. Number 4 is citizenship. Remember the core skills, matching them with core skills that are on the slide. So it's citizenship. Number 5, using technology as a tool to reinforce and extend. Yes.
I think number 5 is digital.
Number 5 is digital literacy.
Literacy,
And number
yes.
6 is
leadership and personal development.
Leadership and personal development.
Number 6 is number 6. Thank you very much, Molly. From the next session, we'll be taking you deeper into those definitions. Okay. Skills. And thank you very much for this session. And thank you very much. You have made it possible for me that I don't just communicate. I interact with you in this session. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye.
much to Sis Vuyo. Can we give Sis Vuyo ala?
Thank you, Colin.
You'll notice I've got a
Ala,
couple
ala.
with me today.
Halala Vuyo.
Ala. Thank you. Colin.
Allah is Vuyo.
Ala. Thank you.
Hala Vuyo, hala.
Ala. Thank you.
Can you see my slide?
Not yet, my dear.
Not yet.
So how are we? Vuyo.
Hello.
Sis Vuyo, can you share my
So
slide?
how are we now?
Some technical difficulties.
is technical difficulties. I am lost now.
Now, at the moment, we are taking a 2 minutes break. 2 minutes break, and then Molly is going to take over.
Okay.
2 minutes break, and then Molly is going to take over.
Okay.
I'm having difficulty sharing my slide at the moment.
And I too.
Sis Boyo, I've sent my slides to you. Can you please share my slides?
Okay, I'm trying to do that.
Okay. In the meantime, I've got a new version of this Microsoft. So thank you, everybody, and well done once again to Sis Boyo. And as Sis Boyo said, this session is on introduction to core skills, and it is critical thinking and problem solving. Can you put my slides on, please? The one I sent to you via mail. So in this session, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be digging a little bit deeper into the two core skills, critical thinking and problem solving, and creativity and imagination. Now, can anybody tell me why these two skills are called the thinking skills? They've been put together and they're called the thinking skills. Yes? You can respond, you can unmute and respond. So why are they the thinking skills? Because today we're going to be putting on our thinking caps and we're going to be digging deeper into these thinking skills. Yes,
I don't see the slides, Molly.
It's coming now. Are you putting my slides on, Mrs. Boyo?
I'm trying to do that here.
Thank you. Okay, can we answer the question in the meantime?
There's your slides, Molly.
Can we go to the session, please? Session 2.
I'm on session 2. You don't see it?
No, yeah, these are not my slides. Go down, that's your slides. Okay, so why are they called thinking skills? While we're sorting out the slides, can you tell me why are these called? Okay, that's the one, thank you. Tabang, why are they the thinking skills?
Okay, they challenge your thinking ability.
Absolutely, they challenge your thinking ability. And that is why they are grouped together. Critical thinking and problem solving and creativity and imagination together are called the thinking skills. Now, in this session, we're going to be digging a little bit deeper into these thinking skills. Sis Vuyo, and together with you, you'll explore what quality learning was all about. Okay? And in the session, Sis Vuyo, these are not my slides. In this session here, we're going to be exploring, as I said, critical thinking and problem solving and creativity and imagination for two purposes. A, to unlock potential of young people, and B, to create an enterprising mindset. Now, if you forget everything, please remember that. How do we use the two core skills to unlock potential and to create an enterprising mindset, right? And that is the purpose of these two core skills, which found the foundation of all the other core skills that we are going to be exploring. For example, communication and collaboration. So the question becomes, how then do we embed these core skills, or how do we go about embedding these core skills into the classroom? Right, so let us start by, Ms. Vuyo, can we see the slides, please?
Looks like I'm having a challenge on the side too.
Can you please forward the presentation to me? Molly?
Okay, yeah, so you can share it. Thank you for that. Ms. Vuyo, will you send that presentation to? You see this Microsoft Teams, for example, currently we cannot use the chat. The chat function has been disabled. So I'm just going to, in the meantime, tell you what the core skills are. I'm just going to so today, this is our outcome for today. What is the outcome at the end of this session? What is it that you should be able to do? Now, Ms. Vuyo has already spoken about the Bloom's taxonomy, okay? So we're going to be digging a little bit deeper into the Bloom's taxonomy. Can you hear me?
Yes, Maria.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do hear you.
Great, great. So we're going to be, see that these are called technical challenges. In fact, last night we were on a call, and these are the challenges that we have and how we're going to navigate through these challenges. But we're going to move on. Secondly, apply critical thinking, problem solving, creativity and imagination to their own leadership in school situation through developing ideas for a project. Now, this is exactly what we're going to be doing. You're going to be developing ideas for your project, okay? Thirdly, identify and generate questions to develop critical thinking, creativity, and imagination. And finally, apply these ideas from this session to your own school context. Now, having said that, what expectation do you now have from these outcomes that I have just mentioned? So obviously you should have an expectation. What is your expectation? What expectation do you have? Can you see my slides now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they are there.
They are there.
Yes, Molly.
Brilliant.
But please, can you put them on slideshow?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
How's that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Clear.
Thank you.
Okay.
They are now
So
clear.
now that you can see the outcomes, okay, very quickly, can we ask Kunene to read those outcomes again? Just so that, because I read it to you, I want to hear a
Yes.
different voice. Kunene, can you read those outcomes for us, please?
They are
Yes.
saying by the end of the session, participants should be able to, 1, explain the key idea of Bloom's taxonomy, apply critical thinking, problem solving, creativity and imagination to their own leadership and school situation through developing ideas for a project. Identify and generate questions to develop critical thinking, creativity and imagination. Lastly, apply ideas from this session
to their own school context. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I've got my own little clapper for you. Halala.
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 So Sis Vuyo, what her job mainly was to clarify, right? To justify. So she tried to justify why we need these core skills in our school context. My job, ladies and gentlemen, is to clarify and magnify the purpose and the importance of embedding the core skills in our curriculum, in the leadership, and in our teaching and learning process. Why? So that we can rectify to ensure that young people are able to thrive and survive in the 21st century. Very quickly, who can tell me what is the end goal of the education system? What is the end goal? What is the end goal of the education system? Can you tell me that? What is the end goal of the education system? You can put it in the chat or you can unmute and tell me.
Okay. Can I answer?
Yes, just tell me your name and go ahead. Thank you.
Fidiso.
Yes, Piso.
So the main aim of the education system is to equip learners with the skills that will help them to be self-reliant when they are future and be able to face life challenges that they meet when they are grown up.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, that is the end goal, is to prepare young people where they can live, work, thrive in an in a globally interconnected world. That is the purpose of the education system. Therefore, the education system needs to relate to the real world. How does it relate to the real world? That is the purpose. So anything we teach, anything we do, the learner must be able to see the relevance with the real world. If they don't relate it to the real world, then it's probably, I'm going to be bold enough to say that it's probably not worth teaching. So thank you for that. Now looking at these outcomes, can you tell me what is your expectation? We're looking at Bloom's taxonomy, apply critical thinking and imagination and develop ideas for your project. You're going to be doing little projects in your school. We're talking about questioning, applying ideas to your school context. So what is your expectation for this session? Can you tell me, please? Based on these outcomes, what is your expectation? You can put it in the chat or you can unmute and tell me. Yes?
Can I go on?
Yes, go ahead.
My expectation on that one of explain the key ideas of Bloom taxonomy. So I want to know at the end of this session, I want to know as how Bloom's taxonomy can help me in asking and answering questions that need to find the cognitive development of learners.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing because you've actually done two things. So in the British Council now, in all our future programs, that's what we do. We have the outcomes. So we ask you, what is your expectation? Then we want you to turn your expectation. You said you want to learn about Bloom's taxonomy. Then secondly, you said, how can I use Bloom's taxonomy to ask questions and answer? So you've done two things in one, and that is brilliant. So that is called a key inquiry questions, because leaders have to be researchers as well. So you've not only listed an expectation, you've also given us a key inquiry question by using the word how. You've turned it into a question. You said, how can I? You are now taking ownership for your learning. Now that's brilliant. Can we have one more expectation? I think that's phenomenal. Thank you very much. Can we have another person, please?
Yes, can I say one more?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, actually, the expectation from my side is that how practical, the practical part that I should be doing in order to implement these aims in my respective school. Well, actually, my focus is the practical things that I should be doing in order to implement this holistically at my school.
Right. So what is your inquiry question? So inquiry question, if I heard you correctly, is what practical tools can I get to implement these core skills in my school? Am I hearing you correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Brilliant, brilliant. That's what it's about. Now we're getting into a research mode, into deep thinking. Now that's what it's all about. So this session is about giving you the tools, the techniques, and the strategies for implementation. Okay? So I'm answering your question straight away. So there you are, the leader project, right? The expectation at the end of the sessions is to get you to implement a small scale project. We don't want you to change the world. A very small scale project in your school as a leader where you get an opportunity, as you so rightly pointed out, to implement what you have learned in your school situation. So the leader project runs through session 2, which is this session. Session 3 next week, which will be Vuyo's session, which will be collaboration and communication and digital literacy, and session 4, which is student leadership and citizenship. And it provides a template that you can adapt to lead similar projects with your teachers and your students. So remember, the core skills are applied at 2 levels, or actually 3. How do you use core skills in your leadership? How do teachers use core skills in teaching and learning? How do learners use the core skills in their personal development and in their leadership development? So I want you to understand these 3 parts of the core skills and how they can be implemented. But for starters, we're going to start with you, the leader. And what project are you going to undertake? So you'll start the project, okay? In the session, a small scale project, we'll talk more about it just now. Then in the leader project, you design a project to improve an aspect of your school leadership practice, your teachers' practice, or your students' learning. The topic is your own choice. Remember, it's a very small scale initiative that you will be undertaking. So we want to keep it simple. It must be manageable. It must be doable. It must have impact, and there must be an outcome. As I said, the project is small scale. In this session, we focus on identifying an issue, creating a goal, and imagining the outcome. What would it be like if I implemented this in my school? What difference would it make? And how can we benefit? So the participants guide has been sent to you, and in the participants guide, you will find this activity. However, I have taken the opportunity to do this for you. So there's your action planning for implementation, which is what you wanted, right? So this is your first encounter with critical thinking and problem solving and creativity and imagination. And in your participants guide, there's also a sample project. So I'm going to take some time on this because this forms a foundation for all the future sessions. So as a leader, And you please feel free to ask any questions for clarification, because this is where we are focusing on implementation, where we turn our knowledge into skills by applying it at the school level. So, what issue in your school concerns you now? Be as specific as possible. So what I need you to do is take out, I hope you are doing your journaling. It's very important that you write down. I need you to take pen and paper, or if you got a book, and what is a specific problem in your school that you seem to think is an issue that you would like to address as a leader. I've just given you an example. For example, late coming is on the increase. Right. So I want you to write this down. And what could you do to address this issue? Okay, so we have an issue. If there's a problem, problems don't exist without solutions. How can we address this problem? Right? And remember, as you go along to the different sessions, you're going to get more tools, more techniques, and more strategies to actually build on and implement this project. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes just to think about it, and then I'm going to take some responses. Kat, if you could just play some music while you answer these questions. Look at the questions on your slide, and I want you to focus on them. I'm going to give you, Sizvoyo, can you look at time? I'm going to give people at least 2 to 3 minutes to actually think about this.
Okay.
Something small that you can actually do at school level. Are we okay?
Yes, we are okay.
Okay. Do you understand what your task is, what you need to do?
Yes, that's clear.
It's clear. Thank you. So please go ahead. Kat, can we have some music?
Sorry, Molly.
Yes.
Are you saying right now we should maybe throw our minds back to our school and find out the maybe the problem that we think is alarming now in our schools?
Yes. So something that, you know, as a leader, this is an issue. For example, I said late coming is an issue. Sometimes I saw somebody said in the chat, we want to keep our environment clean. Somebody spoke about teamwork. Somebody spoke about vision. Somebody spoke about punctuality. Somebody spoke about involving parents. So I found these to be issues, but as I was looking at the chat, these are some of the issues that you have raised. Now I'm giving you an opportunity to actually write this issue down. What is it? Maybe there's 2 or 3, but eventually you will choose one. What is it that you want to work on as a small scale project in your school?
Okay. Thank you.
Left with 1 minute now.
Thank you, Sis Voyo. Okay. Are we okay with time, Sis Voyo?
No, just finished 10:29 now. So you're up.
Okay. Thank you so much. Up. There's my sounder. Okay. You will get more time to look at, because you need to answer all 5 of them, but this will be posted in the Google Classroom or in the chat for you to explore further. But I want to get a sense of what kind of projects do you have in mind? So what issues have you identified in your school that you would like to address? Anybody?
I have an issue of absenteeism.
Aha. Good.
Mm.
So that is what you want to address. Of
Yes.
So this is where you're going to be using the core skills now as a leader to be addressing those issues. So how can I get teachers to come to school more regularly? Remember, this is not a one-day project. It's not a one-week project. It's a small project, and it's done over several weeks till the results start to improve. Let me just tell you a small story. You're talking about absenteeism. So in another school, the head teacher had the problem of late coming. Okay, lots of late coming was on the increase, and this presented a huge problem in terms of the quality of teaching and learning. So this is what the principal did, right? Mr. Nyao. So this is what Mr. Nyao did. So do you know, Mr. Nyao didn't concern himself with the children that were coming late because it wasn't working by focusing on them. So fine, children were quite surprised. Oh, principal doesn't even care that we are coming late. However, teachers were told to keep a strict record of all learners who were coming on time. And at the end of the week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a strict record was kept of children who were coming on time, not those who were coming late. And on Friday, the teacher called out the names of those learners who were coming on time and said, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being punctual the entire week. Today you get 30 minutes off. Boy, can you imagine how the ones who were late, how they felt? And slowly using this strategy, the attendance started to improve. So what am I saying? Maybe you shouldn't be focusing on those who are absent. Focus on those who are present. So this is, I'm just giving you a little taster of how you can approach it. Any comments on that, what I have, on that story that I have related? Any comments? What do you think of that strategy?
Yes, hello.
Yes.
I think that strategy really works well. More especially, you shall find that in most cases, as leaders, we are not focusing on the people that are present. Most of our energy we spend focusing on those that are not there. So considering and rewarding those that are present keeps them live or keep their passion to be there at work in most cases. I think we have to consider that in most cases when we are dealing with the issues concerning our schools.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Exactly, and it's called
it's a good strategy.
It's called appreciative inquiry. Rather focus on what is good, make the good bigger, and then you will be surprised how the not so good becomes even better. Ladies and gentlemen, can you see what we're already starting to do? We're already starting to apply critical thinking and problem solving, creativity and imagination. So can you see how each of the problems that you have listed or issues that we have listed are very solvable? But I want you to keep in mind, keep your project small scale so that you can build your confidence and it becomes doable. So these are your issues. How is it you're going to be solving these issues? So I think I'll need to go out again and try again. Can you see my slide?
Yes, put in them on slideshow.
Okay.
But nothing is written.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, can you see it now? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a brief video on Bloom's taxonomy. And the purpose of this video is to see how we can solve real issues, how learners can use Bloom's taxonomy, how teachers can use Bloom's taxonomy. And I want you to focus on the core skills. Tell me what core skills are being focused on here, okay? And look at the levels of questioning.
Bloom's taxonomy is a toolbox that teachers or students can use to classify and organize learning objectives. Its most popular version is based on the cognitive domain and assumes that learning should be structured from easy to difficult in the following 6 steps. 1. Remember. 2. Understand. 3. Apply. 4. Analyze. 5. Evaluate. 6. Create. On the first level, we learn to remember. There is just rote memorization and recollection of facts without much understanding. For example, if we learn about lemons, we want to remember the name, shape, color, size, and that they are sour. Once we memorize these essentially meaningless facts, we move to the second level of learning. On level 2, we learn to understand. We begin to decode information and learn that a lemon is yellow when it's ripe to eat, and if we take a bite, that it's really super sour. We also understand that lemons love sunshine and that they contain lots of vitamin C, which is a great natural antioxidant that keeps us healthy. Now, as we really understand a lemon, we can work with it. On the third level, we apply what we know. We've understood that while lemons are sour, they are also a great provider of vitamin C. To apply this knowledge in a meaningful way, we could boil a lemon into hot water and add some honey. Then serve this hot lemon to our sick sister who's in need of treatment. On the fourth level, we learn to analyze. This involves examining and breaking down information into components, determining how the parts relate to one another, and finding evidence to support generalizations. We study the lemon flesh, examine the skin, and look at levels of vitamins. We conclude that we can eat everything inside, while the skin tastes bitter and contains traces of toxic pesticides. It ought not to be consumed. Now we are ready to evaluate. We analyze, critique, and compare. To evaluate our lemon as a good source of vitamins, we compare it to other sources, such as oranges and supplements. We look at the following properties: vitamin levels, affordability, taste, and packaging waste. If we evaluate our thoughts critically and without bias, we learn where the lemons score high and where others score higher. Now, after we have learned, understood, applied, analyzed, and evaluated, we are ready to create. As we now really understand lemons, also in comparison to similar things, we can formulate a plan to create our own natural lemonade. It's now easy to come up with a cute shop design, a good name, and a good slogan: natural, healthy, yummy. Bloom's taxonomy was first created in 1946 by American psychologist Benjamin Bloom. The revised version from 2001, as just presented, serves as the backbone of many teaching philosophies, in particular those that aim towards teaching specific skills. Each level usually comes with a clear learning objective that can be tested. Critics of the taxonomy often question the existence of a sequential, hierarchical. Bloom's taxonomy is a toolbox that teachers...
Thank you. Any comments? Any comments? What did you think of that?
The Bloom's taxonomy has been made easier. It's been made easier for us to understand.
The Bloom's taxonomy, can you see here, did you see the application of deep thinking? Now let me give you an example. So I will give you the example. Can you see lemonades? You took from a lemon and how we went right down to the lemonade at each step And the most important step that we are looking at in critical thinking and problem solving is analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Those are the critical steps that we want to use in our leadership. Those are the critical steps that we want teachers to use in their lessons. And those are the skills that we want to be embedded in young people so that they are able to survive and thrive in a globally interconnected world and become economically active. So we want to create, and this is the trick to creating, to unlock potential and to create a very enterprising mindset. Now, in the classroom, this is what happens. Let's take the example of deforestation. The teacher would say, what is deforestation? What are the reasons for deforestation? And what is the impact? In the exams, these three levels are tested. But what deeper question could we ask? Just take the example of deforestation. Should the lesson end at what is the impact? Should it end there? What deeper question could we ask? How could we make the learner own the learning? How could we make the learner make a difference about this issue that we're having in terms of climate change, in terms of our environment, in terms of life on land? What could we do in the classroom in order to apply Bloom's taxonomy? How could we analyze, evaluate, and create? Come, so I remember, put on your thinking caps. Kunene, Rafilwe, how could we take it a step further in the classroom? What could we do?
Hello.
Yes.
I think we can just ask learners how best we can avoid the deforestation. The things that we can do so that we can keep the forest living.
Exactly. So what happens now? They take the knowledge, they understand what the reasons are for it, and now how can we look at the issue of deforestation and maybe start reforestation? Can they do something at a school level? What can they do at the school level? How can they do it? Who will help them? Can you see that? So that is not surface thinking, that is deep thinking, solving real issues in the real world, real life problems. So this is what it's all about, and I'm glad that you understand it. Can you see Bloom's taxonomy here? What's the difference with Bloom's taxonomy here as you see it, as you normally would? Anything different about it?
Sorry, Molly.
Yes.
There's a hand up. Tinyane.
Yes.
There's a hand up. Tinyane.
Okay, go ahead. I'm not seeing it on my phone. Okay, go ahead. What's different about Bloom's taxonomy?
I think I dropped it again.
Kurene is getting scared. Come on,
Hello,
Kurene. Yes, what's different about Bloom's taxonomy?
Can you please
Hello.
repeat your question, ma'am?
I've got an image of Bloom's taxonomy, but it's very different from what you will normally be used to. What's different about it? And it's written right there.
Okay, this one is upside down.
Upside
Normally,
down.
Yes. Why?
Pardon?
Why is it upside down? What are we trying to impress upon you? What are we trying to suggest? What are we leveraging here?
So I do think that you are trying to show that the analyze, evaluate, and grade they are deep. Whereas remember, understand they are a little bit surface.
Absolutely brilliant. That's not what I'm trying to do. That is exactly what I am doing. Thank you so much. Well done. Alala. Yes.
Alala to you.
Remember, when you are swimming on the surface of the ocean, there's very little that you can see. But yet, there's so much of beauty. There's such a teeming with life. But it's only when the diver puts on his diving suit and dives deep into the ocean does a whole world of opportunity starts to light up. So that is what I'm saying. As leaders, as teachers, we need to allow our learners to dive deep. And then, just like bloom, they will be able to bloom like the beautiful buds that we see in spring. And it's only through diving deep, by asking our open questions as opposed to closed questions. Remember how I'm asking you why? Why? How? What if? Finding alternative ways of thinking about things. For example, deforestation. What if we decided to plant trees at our school? What if? How? Why? That is what leads to deep thinking. And that is what leads to critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, and imagination. So maybe you want to think about your project, and maybe for a project idea, my project idea is to ensure that all teachers in my school have a good understanding of Bloom's taxonomy, and I want them to be using it into the classroom to embed the core skills and to enhance deep thinking. So just a suggestion. So that is the purpose. So that is your Bloom's taxonomy, and Bloom's taxonomy is critical to this foundational core skill. I can't emphasize it enough. So what I've done here is, this is the way I understand it. Can you see the green? Remember and understand, I understand it at level 1, the blue apply level 2, and the pink 4, 5, and 6, I think of it as level 3. So just something for my own understanding. That's why I put it in different colors. Now, let us look at questioning pitfalls. Can you see the image there? If you're walking on the surface, yes. What happens if you don't question properly? What happens to people? They fall into, they're going to fall into pits, isn't that so? So that is the questioning pitfalls. Okay, so I am going to ask somebody to read for me the 8 questioning pitfalls, and then I will tell you what activity we're going to do. So whose voice have we not heard recently? Let's see. Whose voice have we not heard? I love voices. You have beautiful voices. Whose voices have we not heard, Sis Boyo? Whose voice would you like to hear? Okay, anybody? I just want you to read the eight questioning pitfalls. Can you do that for me, please?
Okay, let me do it then.
Okay, thank you so much.
Questioning pitfalls.
Yes.
Question 1, asking too many closed questions. Yes or no, short answers. 2, asking too many questions at once leads to confusion, too complex, focus on one idea at a time. 3, asking difficult questions without building on them. 4, asking superficial questions. Don't get to the bottom of the issue. 5, asking questions and then answering it yourself. 6, asking guess what in the head questions. It's an open question, but you want a specific answer, so it becomes closed. 7, focusing on a small number of learners only and not the whole class. Bingo. Everyone has time to think. No hand up. Ask anyone.
Okay, just let me explain that, bingo. So this is a strategy that I use. So when I ask a question, I will give everybody time to think and tell them, when you're ready, you don't shout out the answer, you just say bingo. Because if somebody shouts out the answer, other people stop thinking. Research has shown that. So a good strategy to use in the class is to ask everybody to respond and wait for more and more children to say bingo, and then you can ask somebody for the response. So that's what I mean by bingo. It's a lovely strategy. And finally, the last one.
And I like it.
You like it? Yes, try it.
Number 8, not being clear about what you are asking the question. Open or close. Don't know where you are going.
Thank you so much. That was done excellently well. Thank you, Halala.
Halala.
So these are questioning pitfalls. Ladies and gentlemen, an important part of learning is reflection, and also to be able to reflect on what is it that we do well, and to reflect on what is it that we are not doing well and how we can get better. So what I would like you to do, you're going to take just a minute or two, and this is called a ranking activity. You have done it before in session 1. Remember when I asked you for the different platforms? I asked you to rank them in order of confidence. So this is what you will do. If you are guilty of asking difficult questions, then you will put that, you do that all the time, you will put that as number 3 will become your top one. That means that is your questioning pitfall. Then I asked too many closed questions, so it'll be 3, 1. I asked too many questions at once, so it'll be 3, 1, 2. Do you get the idea? So it is a ranking activity. What is it that I'm guilty of? What is it that I see teachers guilty of? So I want you to rank them, your top 4 that you think that you are guilty of. It is your questioning pitfall. Remember, nobody is judging. We want to get better. So I'm give you 2 minutes. Do you understand the activity? It's a ranking activity. So place your top 4 questioning pitfalls. I don't want all, there's 8 there, but I only want you to rank the first 4, any 4. So even if number 8, sometimes I'm not clear about my questions, I don't know where I'm going. So number 8 will be it will come out at number 1. So you can write 1, 2, 3, 4, and next to number 1 will be number 8, whatever the case may be. So 2 minutes, and Vuyo will, so think carefully about it, Vuyo will time. And then we'll ask people to respond. Thank you, Vuyo.
How many minutes, Molly?
I think 2 minutes should be enough, because people can reflect on their own practice and see where their pitfalls are. Because by doing that, then we can get better.
Wait.
And as soon as you got it, you can shout bingo, so I know you're ready. Bingo!
One minute left.
Go.
Bingo, do we have a bingo? Oh, I heard one bingo, good. Can we have more bingos?
They are in the WhatsApp.
Okay, we have bingos, okay. Lovely, let me check the WhatsApp. Ah, 2368. 2, asking too many questions. 2, 3, 6. Good. Bingo. I want to hear people shouting bingo. If you've done the activities, shout bingo, please.
Bingo.
Bingo, yes. We got halala, now we got bingo, something that we can use. So I'm giving you little strategies that we can use.
Bingo!
Bingo! Wow, got more bingos.
There's Dimpo and Poka.
Bingo!
Bingo! I'm loving it. Bingo. I can see the chat as well. Bingo, another bingo. I'm going to wait for Howie for time. I think time is up now.
Yes, up.
Thank
Time
you,
is up.
Sibuyo. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 5. I can see one. Asking too many questions at once. Asking difficult questions. Asking questions and then answering it yourself. Brilliant. So, can I go to fastest fingers first? And I'm going to ask Rafiwe. Do you think this activity, did you find this activity to be a useful activity in terms of reflecting on your own practice? Rafiwe, I'm asking you since you were the first one, you were the first bingo here. Rafiwe? Rafiwe, can you hear me, sister? Okay, Spoka, you were the third person.
Yes, ma'am. Can you repeat your question?
My question is, did you find this activity, questioning pitfalls, did you find it really useful because you are forced to reflect on your own practice? Did you find this useful? Is this a useful activity?
This is really useful, ma'am. And because this is what I've been doing, so in short, it's useful.
Yes. Is this something that teachers will find useful?
Yes, yes, there is something that they will find useful, especially if they tend to ask only difficult questions, and
yes,
that some of the children cannot be able to answer.
Yes. So what we are saying about difficult questions is we know that in pedagogy and in didactic approach, we don't ask the difficult questions first. We ask the easy questions. That's what we mean by building on your questions. So you start with the easy and then you scaffold the approach before you go to the difficult ones. So therefore, in summary, I can say in terms of questioning pitfalls, we don't want both teachers and learners to fall into pits. Therefore, we need to think about the kind of questions that we are asking. It is imperative that we do that. Okay? So I want you to think about this in terms of your project. Maybe you would have thought about, okay, so I'm going to use Bloom's taxonomy as part of my project as an issue, or maybe I think questioning is a problem, so maybe I should do some professional development in terms of questioning, right? And make sure that teachers are asking the right kind of questions. Learners are also taught how to ask questions. Are there any questions on questioning? Any questions on questioning? Yeah, fine. Anybody raising their hands? Thank you for that. And this was an activity to show you the pitfalls of questioning and also to reflect on our own practice. So what can we do better? That's the whole point of it. Okay, so now we want to have a little bit some fun. And I got everybody's name here on a register, and I am going to be awarding points. Okay? I am going to be giving points. So today I am going to see who is responding and who is not responding. You don't respond, you don't get any points. It's as simple as that. So what is this activity all about? I'm mindful of time, but we started 5 minutes late, so we're going to go 5 to 6 minutes over time. We want to honor those who were on time, but many people only logged on as late as 30 minutes after the session has started for whatever reason. So I want you to think about 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, okay? And what do you notice about them? That they are naturally curious, constantly asking about what questions, why? If you are baking, why? Why? And then what if we turn the whys into what if? What if? This is a tool, a technique, or a strategy to encourage creativity, right? Imagination and creativity. So So everybody today is going to get an opportunity to let their imaginations fly free, right? And question yourself and dig deep. So I have 3 images here. I took all these images, all the images of Soweto. I'm sorry, of Lesotho. Why am I thinking of Soweto? Soweto is South Africa. Okay. Soweto, Southwestern Townships, no. Lesotho. So Tabang, okay. So this is, so Sisvuyo and I are going to show you how to do this activity. Sisvuyo, are you ready?
Yes.
Right, so we're going to do a sample where we're going to ask why, and turn them into what if. So I want you to listen very carefully. So this is Vuyo. Are you ready? So you start and then I will start with the why.
People eat food.
Oh, why do people eat food, Sis Vuyo?
Because humans need food to live.
Why do they need the food? They need food to live?
Because our bodies cannot survive without the nutrition we get from food.
Oh, okay. But what if people didn't need to eat food at all?
We couldn't spend as much time getting and preparing food.
Okay, so we have so much of time, so we could spend. So what if we spend all that time loving each other? What if we spent all that time being creative and creating beautiful pieces of art? What if we spend that time just connecting with our friends and with family? What if we spend that time just traveling beyond the seas and the oceans? What if I spend that time, all that extra time, going and exploring the mountains of Lesotho? Okay, thank you. Do you get the idea? Do you get the idea? So can you see how that
Yes, ma'am.
speaks to why, what if? Thank you, Sis Voyu. Thank you so much. Ala, ala.
Thank you.
Let us have some fun now. Tabang.
Halala.
Ala, Tabang. Learning must be fun. So Tabang, there are 3 images here. We could choose any one of them. So Tabang, I'm giving you the privilege and the honor to choose one and come up with a sentence, a statement.
Okay, ma'am, thank you very much. I'm looking the bottom picture of 4 children.
With the children, okay. So what do you want to say?
Yes. I see the little vulnerable kids who seem to be hungry and feeling cold.
Okay, brilliant. Lovely. Let's leave it there. Thank you, Tabang. So Tabang said the children in the picture are hungry and cold. What's the next question? Let's fire. Everybody open your mics. And so what you're going to ask them? Why? What would be the why question? Why are they? Yes? Come, I'm giving points now. You say your name and ask the question.
Kwenene.
Kunene, right. What's your question? Why
Yes.
are they?
Pardon?
Ask your question. Tabang said the children are feeling cold and they are hungry. Now ask your why question. Your why question is simple now. Why are they?
My question is, why is he saying they are vulnerable?
Okay, let's focus on, okay, why are they vulnerable? Right, 1 point for Kunene. So Kunene is leading our leading board now. Kunene has 1 point. Who's going to ask the next question?
Why are they sitting outside?
Let's focus on the question about about vulnerable, about feeling cold and hungry. For example, we could say, why are they cold or hungry? Tell your name. I'm giving you a point. I'm giving you a point for asking a question. Lovely. Let's go to the next person.
Okay. I'm Poga.
The Poga, right?
Why are they
For
sitting
it.
there outside?
Yes, the question is, why can their parent make fire for them since they are cold, yet there is a firewood behind them?
Ah, brilliant. Why can't the parents make firewood? They've got so much of firewood. I can also see that. Brilliant. 1 point for Poka. Next one. Who's going next? And the leaderboard. We got 3 people in the front running now. Who do we have next?
There's Refuwa. The hand is up.
Refuwa is coming up. Refuwa, what is your question? I want a what if question where we just go let the imagination flow.
Why are they sitting outside, not in the house, if it is cold?
Why are they sitting outside and not in the house if they go everywhere? Another point for you. I want a more what, and now I want a what if question. What if? I want a
Inside
what
the
if
house
question.
if it is cold.
Sorry? Now I want a what if question. Just let your imagination go free. What if?
Why are these children?
Why? I didn't get you. Why?
Why are they not inside the house to keep them warm?
Why are they not inside the house to get them one? And a point for you. I want a what if questions. What if? And now I'm only going to take what if questions. So who's going to come with a what if question? We have four.
Can I,
Yeah,
can
yeah.
I repeat myself?
Sorry?
Yes. Can I too? Okay.
Can
Yeah,
I repeat
you are
myself?
going to answer twice, so you'll get more points.
Okay.
What if?
I'm Poker.
Poker, right? Poker, go for it. I want a what if question.
Yes, what if question is this? I see these children here. What if their parents are no more? Meaning that they are dead.
Okay, thank you, Poker. So what if their parents, if their parents are no more, their parents are deceased? Okay, what if? More questions, what if?
To wait for Kwenene?
Yes, Kunene. Oh, Kunene.
Hello?
So
What if they can set fire there to warm up themselves other than sitting down like that?
Woo, what if they find a way to make a fire for themselves to keep warm? So in the leaderboard, we got Poker. In second place, we got Kunene. Both of them are on equal points. We still need other people to come on the leaderboard. Well done. Who's going to be next?
What if they are homeless?
What if they are homeless?
Can't
What if
go
they are homeless? And a point for you. And last question. In terms of time, I'm going to take the last one. Who's going to put themselves on the leaderboard? Let's see. Who is it going to be? Who is it going to be?
Yes, it's Kwenene
Hello?
again.
Oh, Kunene, come on. One more point and you are in the lead. Yes, Kunene.
What if they are taken to the children home center to be taken care of?
Aha, what if they take it to a center or a shelter where they can be taken? What if that can happen? Brilliant. And the game draws to the close. Ladies and gentlemen, on our leaderboard in first place, we have Kunene. Coming close behind him, we have Poker in second place with 2 points. And in third place, we have the rest with 1 point. And some people sadly have not making themselves onto the leaderboard, but perhaps next time they are going to try harder. So to all those who participated, let's all open our mics and say hala So can you see a little picture, a little statement? Can you see the power of what, why, and what if questions? Can you see that? It can open up minds of your mind. You can let imagination flow and create and allow young people, allow yourself to become more creative. So the question will be, is this something that you would like to do? Maybe a little project in your school where you encourage young people, encourage teachers, encourage your SMTs to ask more why and what if questions. So this is something that we could possibly do. So remember we said, give you tools, give you techniques, give you strategies to implement your leader project in your school and to improve your own practice and that of your young people. So next I want to go here. Anybody can tell me what these are? Okay, we know these are the SDGs. It's a silly question. It's called a very surface question and it's meaningless. So can you see I'm reflecting on my own practice? It was a silly question. But what I would like to ask you, why am I showing you this? Why is this important? I'm going to finish off now, just very quickly. Why is this important? Do you need to know about it? Do young people need to know about the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations that the member states signed? Do they need to know about this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They know.
It's why.
Deborah's hand is up.
If I may answer that.
Yes, go ahead.
There is maybe a goal number 3, which is about health, good health and well-being.
Yes.
So that is what children have to know each and every day to protect themselves, especially in this COVID-19.
Okay, is that the only one that children need to know about? Only 3 about health and well-being?
They should know all about them.
Yes, they should be we as leaders need to create awareness. But thank you for that. Thank you. I love your response. Health and well-being, yes, is important, especially in current times. But as school leaders, we need to create awareness about each and every one of these, right? And here are just the icons, and here they tell you what each one is all about. So that is what we need to create awareness, because these are the problems that young people are currently facing. And who is going to solve these problems? Not anybody else. We can't look to other people to solve our problems. If they are aware about the problems, if they are aware about gender equality, then chances are they won't be guilty of practicing gender bias. If they are aware about good health, like you are doing currently in Lesotho, I know you are focusing on health, then they know how to keep healthy and well-being. They will know about life on land. They will know about life below the water. So it is each and every one of our responsibility and to encourage critical thinking and problem solving in terms of addressing this issue. I'm mindful of time, so the next question we're not going to be doing, but I think you already got some ideas about how you can improve. Teachers and students would like to improve in school. You might have identified already some of the issues, but I'll post that on the chat. And now I want to come back to where we started. So today we went through the Bloom's taxonomy and how critical it is for critical thinking and problem solving in terms of analyzing, evaluating, and creating, and how this could be possibly used as professional development in your school situation. Then we applied critical thinking, creativity, and imagination to your own leadership, where we had one example that somebody wants to address the issue of absenteeism. Then, remember, we use why and what if questions to develop critical thinking, creativity, and imagination. So we did a lovely activity there. And finally, I said in this one, you can see how you can apply ideas from this session in your own school context. So those are the outcomes. So my question to you would be, what's your takeaway? Takeaway means the aim of the takeaway activity is to relate the learning from the session to your own practice. So what is it that you got to take away? So normally when you go to the shop, you put things into your basket, right? So what ideas and activities from this session could you possibly use in your own school situation? So I want us, so what will you do? Which ideas, which strategies, what techniques could I use in school? There and there. What are your takeaways? Can you tell me? What are your takeaways? What is it from this session that you will take away, that you will want to use or adopt in your school? You can put it in the chat, but I like to hear your voices. Shout bingo when you want to respond. Bingo. Think about it and bingo. There's your shopping baskets. So what ideas, what strategies, what will you take away from the session that you have done today? You can put it in the chat or you can respond orally.
Maybe I'm not clear with your question.
My question is, what is it that you learned today that you will take away, meaning I can use this at my school? For example, I can train teachers or do professional development on either the session 1 or session 2 in terms of quality teaching. I can use Bloom's taxonomy. I can use questioning techniques for deep learning. What is it that you will take away? What stood out for you in the session? What did you like about it?
Really, I like them all. Bloom's taxonomy, talking it to my teachers and putting it upside down like that, I think it will deepen their way of understanding and how to deal with their classes respectively.
Brilliant.
Secondly, these strategies, the ideas, the techniques that have been used here in terms of questioning, why and what ifs. I do think that they could create a very much interactive interaction between me and the teachers, and even the teachers and their learners. So these are really my takeaways after these sessions.
Right. So you understand the concept of takeaway. We'll be doing these after every session. So look at Vuyo's session and look at my session. What is it that you will take away from these two sessions that we have done? Brilliant. Can we take another one? Another bingo? Can we have another bingo, please? Thank you very much for that.
Thank you too.
Right. Can we have another takeaway? We'll take another takeaway before we close. Anybody else? What will they take away?
Another takeaway is the manner in which that you are conducting the session. You are being very lenient enough to engage us all. So that helps me a lot, that even when I am leading my fellow colleagues there at work, I have to show the patience. I have to show them the curiosity. I have to enrose their way of doing the activity. So you have really engaged us in the activity that you are conducting.
Right. Thank you very much. Well done. And that is part of it, inclusivity. Remember, Ms. Vuyo spoke about inclusivity. And part of quality education is about including everybody, not making anybody feel left out. Everybody is part of the learning process. So we learn together, we share our learning. And can we take, is anybody else, any questions you have before we close the session, and look forward to next week's session, which is Vuyo will be doing. And next week she is going to be doing communication and collaboration and digital literacy. And together they are called skills for interacting. Are there any questions that you have? Any questions that you have? Comments that you want to make? Any questions,
Yes,
any
ma'am.
comments? Yes?
I just wanted to know whether this group work information can be compiled together at the end of our lesson, so that we can keep it or share to our colleagues there at our schools.
Okay, so we'll talk with to British Council, because we have some of this this is a face-to-face session, and since Vuyo and I, for example, in this session here, I adapted the whole face-to-face session to online. So we will chat. Thank you for that. It's a very valid question, because you want to implement in your school and you want some resources, but you have the participants guide and the activities are in there. So the participants guide that has been emailed to you is going to be absolutely useful. And we'll talk more about that. Thank you for raising that point.
Thank
So
you.
are we good? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I know we have gone a bit over time. As we said, we started late. So Vuyo, any closing remarks from you? Sharon, T, anybody, Kat, anybody want to, any closing remarks?
Nothing from my side except to say to thank the participants for availing themselves for this 2-hour session, and basically to share the discussions that they have had in the group. They have made my session very, very easy and very, very interactive, and I am looking forward to the next session. We will be posting the post-classroom activities in the Google Classroom and the pre-session for the next week. So this week there will be post and pre, okay, activities that will be posted there, and continue doing the good work. It enables us to be able to interact with you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I followed every single
Halala Vuyo.
It was
Halala, thank you.
The discussions were rich. I've been following them. Thank you very much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy whatever is left of the weekend. It's Saturday today, so do go ahead and have yourself a good weekend, and then maybe Monday you can resume on Google Classroom as we post the activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you.
Au revoir. And mon ami, that's French. Merci.
Allah.
Thank you.
Lala, thank you, Molly.
Allah.
Halala,
Allah.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Molly, this is for you. Can I just quick